What is going on, guys? My name is Nimal, and I'm a first-year engineering student here at Purdue University and soon to be pursuing a degree in computer engineering. Today, I will be talking to you about how I'm learning 3 programming languages and a framework at the same time. And let me tell you, it is a bit scary sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. So let's get started. As stated in the video description, I'm currently learning C, MATLAB, Python, and Django, which is the framework. So you may be asking, with so many languages to learn, how do you go about learning them? My number one tip for this is to find similarities and differences. So to begin off, I want to present a huge disclaimer, and the fact is that I've actually coded before, and my first language was Java, which I learned as a junior in high school, and I've been coding in Java for 2 years since. And jumping into C was a natural progression for me because many of the syntax rules were fairly similar. In terms of MATLAB, there were some concepts that were very unique, such as suppressing the variable, but many of the underlying concepts were pretty similar nonetheless. With this fact in mind, I would like to point out that regardless of any language, the code logic or the Boolean logic would be pretty much the same. So for example, if you were given a problem to solve in MATLAB, but didn't know MATLAB very well, but instead knew how to do the same problem in a different language, or maybe just not knowing what to do at all because you don't know any languages, then figure out the proper steps to do beforehand. Pseudocode your way into figuring out the problem, and you'll eventually figure out how to do the same process in the new language, in this case MATLAB. The nice thing about programming languages is that they all have some sort of documentation online. In fact, all of the languages I'm learning right now have extensive documentations online, so really take advantage of these resources. For example, I was confused about what the find keyword in MATLAB outputs, so I quickly went to the documentation, looked at a few examples, tried out a few examples in MATLAB, and it just clicked. In fact, I'll be learning Django and Python similar to this approach, so I'll definitely go to their documentation pages a lot this semester. Which leads me to another tip, which is to watch online coding bootcamps. This tip is not only for people who haven't touched a single IDE like NetBeans, Eclipse, or whatever in their lives, but also for intermediate and advanced programmers who just want to learn another language. Schedule a time during the weekend or whenever, and just watch the 4-hour-long coding bootcamps, or 1 hour long, depending on the time frame. However, if you're pressed for time throughout the week, I would just recommend watching a section each day, whether it be a 15-minute section on conditional statement or a 1-minute section on installing the program itself. I actually went from printing text to the screen to using iteration and conditional statements to create a number guessing game, all in just 4 hours. I really have to say that this method helped me a ton because I did not have to read any physical book or PDF to learn about the language when I could just look at an online tutorial to achieve the same result in less time. Nevertheless, it does help if you have prior programming experience. However, if you don't worry. If you're someone who learns by doing, I really suggest this method as it helps you a great ton. If you learn by doing, you should also create your own projects or work on some project of some kind. When creating your projects, it doesn't have to be big for the first time. In fact, it could be as simple as creating a 4-function calculator, maybe writing a Mad Libs game, or even creating a random number guesser. If you feel confident with projects like these, you can venture out and start creating bigger and more complex projects. If you feel lost, just play around with the language and discover the things that you didn't know about the language beforehand. And as an engineering student, I'm constantly assigned MATLAB problems, so it really helps me to learn the language a lot faster when doing these projects. The same can be said for C. So in short, projects help cement your understanding that you've learned in coding bootcamps. My 5th tip is to have actual desire and motivation. If you have a thirst for knowledge, then it's not as bad as it seems. Figuring out what a piece of code does in your program is nice enough, but actually writing from scratch and seeing the desired result after many cycles of debugging is more rewarding. Honestly, it feels great to have those moments. The key takeaway from this is not only to be organized, but also apply prior knowledge to new situations as it can help you immensely with the experience and the motivation. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Also, let me know what else you would like to see from this channel as I'm progressing in this new outlet of mine. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.